Good morning. Welcome back to Be Crypto Savvy. It is Thursday morning and we're jumping into Bitcoin.
If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can help you skip those valleys. Let's rally, yeah. If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can let
That's right,
investments
everybody.
tally.
It is
Let's
Thursday. We're getting closer and closer to that weekend. Hang in there, everybody. We will be jumping over into the range report provided by our partners over at Genie.io. However, first things first, we are going to look at Bitcoin in TradingView and discuss what's been going on over the past few days. You can see that we've been experiencing this pullback ever since we hit the top of our descending line here back on Saturday. And ever since then, we have been seeing that pullback. We did get a little bit of a pump yesterday after the CPI data came out. However, we did end up seeing that pull all the way back and lost some as well. We are looking pretty bearish, in my opinion. You can see this light green line here is our 50-day moving average. So we have lost the 50-day moving average and are currently beneath that, which would mean that that will now act as a level of resistance just above the 50-day moving average. We also have our point of control line that is part of our volume indicator. You can see how much trading action happens in this area right here, and this will now act as a level of resistance with us below that as well. So now we currently have our 50 and point of control line just above our heads acting as resistance, putting a lot of pressure on that $27,500 level of support. Last week we did talk about this descending level of support and whether or not if we would break that to the upside or to the downside, and with us breaking through over this past weekend to the downside, that does confirm that our probable likelihood of an expected range would be right into this next support zone, which is what we were talking about going back to last week. So that would put us right around that $25,000 area. So my expectation is still to pull back close to that $25,000 level and test this next support band down here. A couple of things to mention. We do have our 100-day moving average, which is this yellow line here, as well as our 200-day moving average, which is this red line, which is also coming up into that $25,000 support band. So we do have a couple levels of resistance. Now the 100-day moving average, that's right around that $26,000 level, is within this area here that we haven't seen a lot of action. So although typically your 100-day moving average would be a pretty good level of support, we don't see a whole lot of volume, and there typically hasn't been a lot of volume within this area. So I just did want to point that out. And then one last thing, I do expect that pullback. However, that doesn't mean it is going to be a straight shot. We are right now sitting on top of a support band, so it wouldn't be crazy to see, a little bit of a pop to the upside over a day or two before seeing another rejection and ultimately seeing that bigger pullback, testing that $25,000 to $26,000 area. Now down here on the bottom, we have the historical volatility indicator. Now, typically once we reach into that range right around the 30 level is where we start to see moves of high volatility. You can see like back in this area down here, it was right around this area right before we got that huge pop to the upside. Now, it doesn't always mean that you're going to get a pop to the upside either. It could in fact be a move to the downside. You can see like right here as an example, which correlates with right in this area before we saw this move to the downside. So with that being said, you can see with where we are right now with us being just on top of our support band with a couple resistance levels directly above us and our historical value getting right close towards that 30 level, we are due for some kind of a move. Now, just remember that could be a move to the upside or a move to the downside. As far as the historical value indicator is concerned, it's not going to tell you if you're going up or down. It's just telling you that you're due for a big move in the near future, and that's why you have to rely on your other indicators and technical analysis to get more of an idea of which direction that's going to be. As far as our technical analysis within TradingView, I think we're going to leave the video there and we'll jump over to the range report provided by our partners over at Genie.io. Now, if you are not familiar with what the range report is, I'll throw up a video in the top right corner for you now. And if you would like to check that out, it'll give you a brief overview of the range report as well as how to get this range report for a 2-week free trial and 10% off the already low price of only $20 per month thereafter. Now, a couple things to note within this range report. Currently, this range report covers Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, the team over at Genie.io are adding several more top tier altcoins to this range report as well. Plus, they are adding more indicators and exchange rating. And what I'm excited for is currently this range report updates every 24 hours. The team over at Genie.io are actually working on a fast twitch model that would update every 6 hours. So really great things just around the corner. So don't forget to check out the link in the description and get this for a 2-week free trial and that 10% off that grandfathers you into that price point even after all those updates through November. Now let's get jumping into the range report. Looking at the news and events section, I'm going to read a few of these. However, when you have this report yourself, you're able to click on all these links and brings you to the full article, allowing you to read the entire piece and to stay up to date with the entire macro picture of the crypto market. So just the first few of these, Bitcoin fees plummet 95% as Bitcoin price recovers from U.S. government scare. Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital hit with another SEC subpoena, and developers deploy Uniswap contracts on Bitcoin as BRC20 based SHIB Pepe gain popularity. So again, you can click on all these links when you have this report and read those full articles. A lot of good information comes through here. Looking at the volatility forecast, opportunity zone, and relative value, more or less, we have a pretty stagnant sideways chopping forecast with a little bit of a dip through the weekend, which would be typical, as retail investors are more or less the only participants left in the market. You get the whale, sale or purchase here and there, but for the most part, you're just left with your typical retail investors. So more or less, it looks like, sideways trading ranging probably from from lower 25,000s up to around like $29,000 area. So let's keep moving on. We're going to go past the candles as we were just in TradingView. Looking at the hourly RSI, we are currently in a slight downtrend at 44 at the time of recording. Over on the daily RSI, we are in a little bit of a pullback as well, down to 42 at the time of recording. Looking at the Bitcoin MACD, we've had a couple of bounces off the signal line with our MACD, and that MACD line continues to pull down after we have seen the last indicator from here was a bearish cross back on the 17th of April. We've been seeing that pullback, and again, just a couple bounces off that signal line underneath, and it continues to the downside. Looking over at the stochastic over 30 days, we have crossed that 20 line, which is good. A good indicator if you're looking for a possible move back towards the upside. We had seen a bearish cross back here on the 7th. Let me see if that's right. Between the 6th and the 7th, we did see that bearish cross. Since then, we've pulled all the way down from about 64 underneath that 20 line. And we have seen that reverse and possibly looking at a bullish cross here within the next 24 hours. So something that we'll keep an eye on there as far as the stochastic is concerned. Now let's check out average price. I usually like to knock it down in size and hover over average price, which gives you a little clear a little bit more of a clearer view there, and you can see we've been putting in lower highs, a little bit on the lower lows. This bottom valley here that we're looking at is really close. I'd actually say we're probably up a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see if we do put in another lower low as well. Bitcoin on balance volume, another really big pullback here. That is good to see. However, with the price going down as well, I'm guessing this is just going to get pushed right back up. Average directional movement index, we are curling around, which is a good sign to be moving towards some kind of a trend. However, we are still beneath that 25 line, so there is no trend recorded. Ultimate oscillator, we are seeing this pullback, so that is good if we're looking to have this reset. Currently, we are still pretty neutral though in that 43 zone. Parabolic stop and reversal. Over the weekend, we had talked about waiting to see if we were going to get that third confirmation for the buy signal and wondering if that was actually going to happen or not. It did not happen, and we have gotten 5 consecutive sell signal confirmation dots printed on our parabolic stop and reversal. Fibonacci retracement extended just past the 618 and has been pulling back ever since. Candles with Hikaki, the last strong signal we got was the bear confirmation on the 1st of May, and that has been playing out. Kopot curve had crossed that 0 line, giving us a little bit of momentum, but has since pulled back, and not only pulled back, but also has regressed beneath that 0 line again. As for the accuracy, Bitcoin is nailing over 92% accuracy over the past 7 days. And that's going to do it for us on today's Bitcoin video. Make sure you stay up to date with everything crypto related by smashing that subscribe button. If you got anything of value from this video, make sure to hit that like button as well. That's probably the single best way to help this channel grow. And keep an eye out for our next video here at Be Crypto Savvy, and we'll see you then.
Like, comment, and subscribe, yeah.